I'm not, I'm not trying to impress you. I'm just trying to impress upon you. I'm like you. I'm no better than you. I'm a 960 SAT guy. and I'm not trying to offend anyone, trying to act all there if you got 940. But literally a 960 SAT guy. I cannot, you've never seen me read a speech because I cannot read a speech. Maybe the wrong business to be in.
The bigotry of low expectations strikes yet again. Look, it's been a terrible week for the Democrat 2028 hopefuls. It's clear that they're trying to get a head start on the 28 campaign. Last week, it was the Munich Security Conference, where AOC had her infamous flub in regards to Taiwan and China, and of course, Gretchen Whitmer saying that, I defer to AOC, she knows much more about foreign policy than I do. And here, Gavin Newsom attempting to pander to black voters by talking about how dumb and uneducated he is. I can't even read. Now, for those of you who are like me, I didn't really take the SAT because the colleges I applied to, they were more focused on the ACT than the SAT, but the SAT, the perfect score is a 1600. So to get a 960, he's barely above 50% there. So, I'm just like you black voters because I did so poorly on the SAT. I'm clearly uneducated. And by the way, I can't read. Neither can you. Who thought that that was a good idea? Now, most people in the moment, they would have realized I messed up. They would have tried to course correct, but Gavin Newsom and his PR team didn't realize this until the blowback started going viral on social media, and they are now in a full-blown panic mode, and we can tell based on how they're reacting on social media. So first off, Gavin Newsom actually reposted Sean Hannity and then said this: "You didn't give a bleep about the President of the United States of America posting an ape video of Barack Obama or calling African nations S-holes. But you're going to call me racist for talking about my lifelong struggle with dyslexia? Spare me your fake effing outrage, Sean." Well, first of all, Gavin, if you were trying to connect with voters in regards to dyslexia, why didn't you talk more about dyslexia? Why don't you go to a dyslexic meetup? I mean, there are communities and Facebook groups and all sorts of associations for pretty much everything under the sun these days. You could talk about raising dyslexia awareness. But no, you're focusing, he's clearly trying to get votes from different demographics, and clearly his PR team wants to go after black voters, and he, for whatever reason, thought that this would make him relatable. So it's just an absolute joke, and the fact that they are on defense now tells us that they know just how badly they've messed up here. And his PR team, to make matters even worse, they actually invoked Charlie Kirk in order to defend what Gavin Newsom did. Now, before I get into all of that, this would have been really easy. You don't have to dumb yourself down. You don't have to play into the bigotry of low expectations. You can just say, hey, I care about the same things that you do. I care about the economy. I care about jobs. I care about jobs for black workers. I care about crime in inner cities. I care about a healthy relationship between police departments and communities. There are so many ways he could have talked about issues and how he relates with black voters and just voters of every kind, regardless of demographic. But no, because he chose to pander, that's why he screwed up, that's why he face planted, and that's why he's facing all of this blowback. All he had to do was say, hey, look, we share the same focus on priorities, and that is security, whether it's economic security or physical security. When we talk about security, people usually think about borders or national defense, but personal security matters too, and most of us have way more information about ourselves online than we realize. That really hit home after I got a phishing email that looked exactly like it was from my bank. Same logo, same language, but it used my real address. That's when I realized my data was already out there. So I decided to wipe myself from the internet with Incogni. They don't just remove your info from data brokers, they go after any site that has your data. My dashboard shows 786 removal requests, 734 already completed, saving me 550 hours and 30 minutes of work. That beats spending months or years cleaning up financial and reputational damage from identity theft. And with Incogni's custom removal feature on the Unlimited and Family Unlimited plans, you can flag any site showing your info, and one of their privacy agents personally takes care of it. Because once your data is out there, it's not harmless, it's fuel for scammers scams, identity theft, and worse. Go to incogni.com/stateofdaniel and use State of Daniel for 60% off. Again, incogni.com/stateofdaniel, code stateofdaniel. Remove yourself from the internet before someone else uses your data against you. Well, like I mentioned earlier, Governor Newsom's press office actually invoked Charlie Kirk to defend him. They sent this to Benny Johnson. Why do Republicans always play the race card? The governor told Charlie Kirk the same thing, literally, more than a year ago. Literally? Let's take a look at that moment. Let's take a look at the video that they shared.
Started 960 SAT. I asked you about your SAT. You said,
I took the ACT.
You took the ACT, which proves two things: how young you are and how different things were. You grew up in.
That is not the same thing. Yes, you told him about your SAT score, but you didn't say that, hey, we have a lot in common because I'm dumb like you. I'm uneducated like you. I can't read like you. You're just talking about your similar life experiences, which in this case was taking the SAT, but you weren't using your poor score to say, oh, we're relatable in this sense. So that is just, talk about a false equivalence and just talk about dishonesty. It's really unbecoming for any presidential hopeful. Well, it's not just Gavin Newsom's flubs that are getting under his skin. He's actually getting quite a bit of pushback from the mainstream media, including, believe it or not, CNN. Now, I'm not saying CNN is trying to be fair here. I have suspicion that maybe they are rooting for someone else to win the Democrat primaries, and maybe that's why they're going after Gavin Newsom. But take a look at this. He actually got pushback from Dana Bash.
California has the highest cost of living in the nation. The state's prices are 11% higher than the national average. We were actually out to dinner here in Nashville last night. We met a couple from California. Yeah. They moved out of California because they couldn't afford the rent or even to buy a home and also start a family.
Yeah, we've had hundreds of thousands of people move in California the last 2-3 years. We've seen population growth. As you know, we moved from 6th to the 4th largest economy in the world, and we dominate now in every key industry, from AI, quantum, robotics. We dominate in ag. We dominate forestry.
But people are struggling to afford things like your mom was.
Yeah, so they are calling him out on his economy. California's economy, of course, is the largest in the United States. And if he can't even manage that, why should voters trust him with managing and influencing the economy of the entire country? It just doesn't make any sense. So, you know what? Kudos to Dana Bash for calling him out on that. Well, I don't know if the mainstream media, CNN, if they're rooting for AOC and that's why they're starting to attack Gavin Newsom. But just as Gavin and his PR team are on defense mode today, AOC has been playing defense ever since her disastrous performance last week at the Munich Security Conference. And she's actually saying, you can't make this up, her answer in regards to Taiwan and China, if we don't think she understands, if we don't think she's good at foreign policy, the problem isn't her. We're the problem for calling it out. You cannot make this up. And by the way, she posted this with someone snoring in the background. That's the noise you hear right here.
If you think that I don't understand foreign policy because out of hours of discourse about international affairs, I pause to think about one of the most sensitive geopolitical issues that currently exist on Earth, I'm afraid the issue is not my understanding, but rather the problem is perhaps you've gotten adjusted to a president that never thinks before he speaks.
That's how you know she's melting down. She can't even wait until the next day to talk about this. That's why she's talking like she's lost her voice, because the person behind her, I don't know if she has a boyfriend or a husband or whatever, but he's snoring, and so she has to whisper like a maniac so she doesn't wake that person up. Go into the hallway? Is there not another room? Go outside? Or better yet, wait until the morning till you don't make a fool out of yourself. But the fact that she couldn't even wait to do that tells me that she really is worried about the blowback that has come her way. And, you know, she realizes that if she doesn't get this under control, then her 2028 dreams are bye-bye, out the window. Similar to, that was the bye-bye, we're going to turn the page, Walz's wife, the crazy lady. Well, speaking of crazy lazy, lazy, well, there's more AOC. She didn't just defend herself, but she's actually defending Zohran Mamdani's handling of all the blizzards in New York City.
You know, I've seen one or two questions about people complaining that the snow is still here from the last storm, and like, what are people gonna do about it? And I'm starting to wonder how many of you know how snow works and know about, like, at what temperature snow melts. And at this point, I might be calling Sauron, telling him not to close schools on Monday, because we gotta be open in the schools, you guys. Snow does not melt at 20 degrees. Okay, like, I need us to get it together. I know it's bad that more's building up, but please know that this is nature.
AOC. No one is upset that there is still snow from the last snowstorm. What they're upset about is the city's horrible response. The fact that it took so long for roads to get cleared. And I get, look, this snowstorm, the last one actually, went through large parts of the South. You saw large portions of Mississippi, Tennessee, North Carolina, Kentucky just absolutely brutalized by that winter storm. But the difference there is that southern states don't have the infrastructure. They don't have the resources to handle that kind of snowstorm, that kind of ice storm, because it's a rare event. So it makes sense that, those areas would have been shut down for days, in some areas weeks. But in New York City, where you have plows, where you have salt, where you have workers, in this case, emergency workers, the roads should be plowed, they should be taken care of, they should have been salted, the sidewalks should have been cleared. But instead, it took so long, the garbage wasn't taken out. That's what led to the garbage mountains. And then you had homeless people dying in the streets. A minimum of 20 people died because they were left out to freeze. That is what people are complaining about. That is why people are angry. It's not about snow being on the ground. That is a symptom of a larger issue. And that, of course, is the failed policy of Zohran Mamdani. The warmth of collectivism is not melting the snow. It's not shoveling the snow. The warmth of collectivism is actually making things worse and deadlier in New York City. Well, Zohran Mamdani, if you saw my last video, he's trying to hire emergency shovelers. And in order to shovel and get paid to shovel, you have to come with multiple forms of ID. That's right, photo identification, a driver's license. We need to see your ID in order to shovel. Meanwhile, this is the same party that doesn't want you to show your ID to vote. Well, now Zohran Mamdani, just earlier today, he was pressed about this during a press conference, and he is defending his decision. But before we get into all of that, I would like to thank the members of today's Governor's Club: William Wood, 1776, Moon Fairy, and Super Roamer. These are people who give tips, and super thanks to the channel. I am so glad that you're here and glad that you enjoy. Without further ado, here is Mamdani at his presser.
There's been this controversy over the snow laborers and the sort of what some see as onerous need to have documentation. Can you just talk about if that's new and what you make of the controversy?
This is all long-standing. This is a long-standing program and long-standing requirements, and this is a way that New Yorkers get paid to shovel snow in assistance with the city's response to a winter storm event. Federal law requires that employers get authorization and documentation to pay people for their work. We are not allowed to just cut checks to individuals for their work. And these are the policies that we've had in place, but I understand that for many it's the first time that they've ever heard about it.
Well, guess what, Mamdani? Guess what, Democrats? Federal regulations require that you have documentation and identification in order to vote in our elections. That may be the first time you've heard about it, but guess what? It's in the rule books. As always, though, all of this is just my analysis and commentary. That's what's happening in the world of politics from my point of view, and I would love to hear from you. So what has been your favorite Democrat meltdown so far? Was it AOC and Munich, Gretchen Whitmer, or Zohran Mamdani and Gavin Newsom? I mean, so much has gone wrong so fast for the Democrats. It is, we are feasting right now. So what has been your favorite moment? Let me know down in the comments below. I think for me, it has got to be Gavin Newsom, because I really thought that he was going to be more of a well-oiled machine and just really slick as a politician. So to have this sort of basic flub, man, if this is the best Democrats can do, it is going to be a fun 2 years. If you haven't already, though, please be sure to leave me a thumbs up. I know it's a simple thing to ask for, but it really does help me reach more viewers like you in the algorithm. Be sure to smash that subscribe button and to check out one of these videos.